And then KBG betting on the Akai as well as the Minotaur.
Yeah, good Minotaur ban. I'm not too sure about the Akai though. Technically for S2G, they have been utilizing that, but knowing the changes in the jungle, the Akai has really fallen off hard, and I think it has to do with that clear. The clear speed just isn't as good, and you can't really go for these trades or, you know, the Lord Dances either with the Akai. It's more of just a pure disengage tool for S2G that I don't know if they're even going to be able to utilize now. Minotaur ban as well. I think that's just really good respect coming in towards Karo. Actually, towards Karo, because the way that he's been able to utilize the Minotaur is purely with the disengage style. It seems that's going to be Karo on the Cho though, so a different style already, not the reactive protect Sigibum kind of style.
I mean, like, here's the thing. We talk about tempo. We talk about the changes, where personally for me, I actually favor lineups that have more damage. And the changes on the Cho, now that his passive lowers or shreds your armor, actually makes the Cho a lot stronger when it comes to the early game, when it comes to the damage. So if they pick up, say, an Assassin, that's going to be a pretty good combination. And looks like the Eve will be picked up by LMU, where the Eve has been buffed, having more damage and can deal with the Moskov quite well, at least early to mid. And now KBG locks it up with the X-Borg to deal with the Terizla.
Speaking of damage output, man, KBG, they have 4 people who can deal damage. We're talking about the Fredrin here.
I'd argue 5.
Yeah, technically 5 with the Fredrin. But, you know, oh, by the way, Fredrin, interestingly enough, I have seen him go for Temporal Rain.
I've seen it as well. I don't know how to feel about it, though.
Do you know how it procs?
Okay, how does it proc?
So it procs you would expect with the Appraiser's Wrath, but it doesn't. Oh, for the Fredrin, it's with the taunt, because you learn your ult together with your taunt when you get level 4. So you use the taunt, you get the Temporal Rain instantly.
So all the nerfs on the ult now is just like, you know what, it's not a nerf anymore.
Technically, it gets cancelled out by the Temporal Rain, but we do see a normal pick, at least in this meta, with the Nolan. And by the way, Nolan, I would say at this point, is kind of a counter to the Fredrin. Not in the normal way of the skirmishes, because skirmishes you can still catch Nolan, but in terms of farm.
Look at this, look at this. Imagine a Cho goes inside the jungle, just prevent the Fredrin from moving around the map a lot, and then Nolan just takes all of his farm, right? Maybe the Nolan can skip the first turtle, but by the second turtle, he will have a 2 or 3 level advantage, and then after that, it's just Snowball City, right? In this game, S2G has a way that they can be aggressive, or they can just play the macro game, slowing down the Fredrin enough, and then give Nolan such a big lead that all of their team fights is going to be in their favor.
Well, we are going to be taking a look at the draft again earlier there.
Yeah, and now we're jumping into the first game of the wild card stage. It's going to be KBG going up against S2G.
An interesting skirmish already at the start of the game. I'm definitely going to be putting my eyes onto the emblems first here. And this gives the war cry, by the way, for Sigibum. And for the other side, LMU Impure Rage. We've been seeing a whole lot more Impure Rage nowadays, by the way. And it does seem like it's kind of a swap here. So it's actually Saksa on the Nolan. What are your thoughts on this? You've seen Saksa before, back when he was an SMG.
So I feel like Saksa is using the tankier junglers just because it's the meta, right? You kind of have to adapt to it. But Saksa is still pretty good on those assassins. And we look here, Tracy is trying to slow down S2G and try to actually make it so that Saksa is able to farm up much faster going up against the Fredrin. And now, Karo is low, and LMU goes in. He wants Karo.
No, flickers forward. Saksa's still going to be able to steal away that green camp, and it'll be a little bit of an early invade for KBG, getting them in the lead and utilizing that clear speed of the Nolan. Even in the bottom lane, Wawa actually winning out against Sigibum here, and that's not really a good look for the Roger. This is a winning matchup for the Roger, and it does seem like for KBG, they want to continue with this pace. Already invading again, trying to go for the steal, and I think he did get it. Gets a 2-man Jeet Kune Do, and with that range, the additional speed, Saksa jumps into the back line, doesn't have the fracture, but will be able to chase Begin straight up first blood in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, and now this is where Keep Best Gaming are gonna start the snowball. Sigibum, I feel like he's having a hard time trying to proc the war cry. Like, he has full proc there, but he's not going for the trade.
Okay, so then pulled back, and KBG continue again. That's 2 kills on the board up against the Group A favorites.
Mirko, we talked about it. The more we say about one team, the opposite will happen. And we're seeing a showcase here. Keep Best Gaming having 2 kills over S2G, and now they have Prio on the turtle. Looks like they're going to get it for free. So now in terms of the goal lead, they're going to snowball a lot. And I got to talk about the Impure Rage on this Paramis. it's amazing for a lineup of S2G because now it deals on max HP. So the more HP that you have, the more damage the LMU will deal. So going up against a draft with an Edith, with a Fredrin, as well as an X-Born, his damage might even be higher than Wawa.
Certainly, man. But you can already see that Tracy is being an absolute menace. Caro still hasn't hit level 4.
Oh my goodness.
In the second minute of the game here, is already first hurdle done, and I really wonder why he hasn't been able to hit level 4 yet. Kazoo is doing a big job. Tracy goes over to Jeet Kune Do, gets canceled down with the onward there. Not able to get the Way of the Dragon fully on Caro. But Saksa wants to go in, has a fracture. Caro flickers out to safety. And KBG will be able to be comfortably in the lead in the first 2 minutes. Kazoo with a little bit of a steal there.
You know what's uncomfortable here is that seeing a tank jungler getting bullied inside of his own jungle. We don't see this a lot, and that's why we usually see the tank junglers being the prio, because you want to make sure that you have a good time farming up, and even if you lose farm, it's completely fine. Sigabum, as of this point, looks like he's having trouble, but LMU already using the ult.
On the way, the Dragon straight into the fracture. Saksa gonna be able to pick up 1 kill. Now his Pure Destruction doesn't connect, but Kazoo's still gonna be caught now as the passive keeps on going. Fraser's Wrath connects into LMU, and Kazoo's able to get out. Now Tracy going for the chase under the turret, looking for the last kill onto him, but it will just be Tracy traded in. A bit of overextension. It's just a roamer traded in for 2 members, as some of these skirmishes in lane are actually looking all good for KBG.
Yeah, looking very good, in fact, for KBG. Now, in terms of goal difference, it's 11.6 for KBG, 9.7 for S2G Esports. Now, the thing is, S2G, they still have a way to come back into this game. Let Lunar have 2 items. He has War Axe, so it looks like he's skipping the boots. After this, perhaps he's going for the Immortality. After the Immortality, he can start going for the more aggressive fights. And then maybe they can do something about it, because for now, S2G is losing all the lanes, but they're rushing this turtle.
We'll try to get it now with the Fredrin. Tracy goes into Jeet Kune Do, gets out with the Shunfu as well. Now Caro has a final round, but that's going to be a penalty zone, locking him down with his Way. The Dragon actually brings them back all the way to damage for destruction as well, and that's going to be a steal for Saksa. But getting to be knocked up, and now straight into the collapse of KBG. 7-1. That's a good Shadow Stampede to bring Kazoo out of the turret as KBG continue this straight into the mid lane, giving Wawa all of the hits as Tracy zones him in the back.
I like the tempo that KeepBest Gaming is playing. They're picking on the pace, making sure that they're moving around the map very, very fast, and slowing down S2G at the same time. I gotta say, this strategy is working very well because of Tracy. The fact that Tracy slows down the mid-tree of S2G, giving so much space for Saksa as well as NMU to move around. Like, he might not be the overall MVP, but for setting all of this up, Tracy's the MVP, man.
Sure, all the way from the start, setting up that steal on the green camp for Saksa, enabling him to be able to just farm and path up so well. He's 2 levels up on the Fredrin. Should just be down to 1 now as he picks up the green camp again. And Sigibum is really struggling to get that snowball.
LMU now as well having the glowing wand, so the healing coming in from S2G is not really going to be there. Tracy at this point, he can go for the pickoffs because Saksa has a lot of damage, and Saksa now has the Sky Piercer. So if we think that the early game is good, it's going to be much better. Thunder Strike, Sky Piercer, that's a lot of damage.
It does seem like now the Purple Wolf is going to be invaded. Caro already down to a quarter of his HP. Wants to be able to regen back to half. As KBG continue this, poking onto the purple buff, goes for the steal, but Kazoo will be able to time that red tree a bit better than Saksa to recover. But it's still a 5,000 gold lead almost for KBG as they continue to scale up. And that's what's scary here. The Moskov, he can get to that late point very, very soon.
Here's the thing. I kind of feel like S2G, they need to move as a team very, very fast. If they can get a kill onto Saksa, Saksa is 5-0-2, so he has the shutdown goal. If you're able to shut down Saksa, your entire team, this goal difference of 5,000 can be lowered to 2,000, or, you know, worst case scenario, 3,000. And at that point, there's still a big fighting chance. So for this turtle, I feel like for S2G, instead of focusing on the turtle, try to get Saksa. If you get the shutdown goal, it's big. KeepBest Gaming can get the turtle, doesn't matter. Kill Saksa. That's objective number 1.
Okay, but in the bottom lane, we can definitely see already Wawa dealing a whole lot of damage. Frog Armor taken out, forcing the last Insanity before the team fight even starts. And Tracy finds a way to Dragon, brings Begin back to the team. See you doing a good job in zoning them. KBG, Pure Destruction up top.
It hits,
and he goes for it. Now with the Spirit of Misery as well, forcing to Purify out of Sigibum. Won't be able to go for the turret. And Wawa continues this chase, has another Abyss Walker, but he decides not to overextend. A free turtle over to KBG, and Kazoo is going to be able to secure that now. Saksa puts on some damage. Caro as well in the mid lane, forced back, and that's going to be a free tier 1 to KBG.
This is not good because S2G, the way that they draft, they have the X4 to go up against the Terizla. They got the Roger first pick. 100% they wanted to win the lanes. The fact that they did not win the lanes is very tough.
Triple buff given. Big in, still able to steal it away, but look at the damage just from the Ghost versus LaFell. Oh, Caro. Earth Shatter now gets knocked up. No.
Oh, even Kazoo gets canceled.
Dash away from that onward, or rather from that G with the onward. And LMU continues this with the Stampede. That glowing wand, man. Let's talk a little bit about that, right? The new changes to the glowing wand. You kind of have that NOD effect as well.
Now you got the life bane, so that the healing, the sustain coming in from S2G is going to get cut in half. The shields is going to get cut in half. And you still have the glowing wand passive where you're burning your opponents for their current HP. So even you're trying to recall, it's going to be very, very difficult. And now looking at the items here, 3 items for Saksa, a lot of on-hit damage. And looking at the Moskov, he's just a few hundred gold away from the Demon Hunter Sword. And now he's completed his Demon Hunter Sword. So in terms of power spike,
Yikes.
Keep Best Gaming has hit it. So now they can do whatever they want because they are at an end game point.
Okay, Tracy walks up again, just trying to zone them away. Lunar's doing a lot of damage. By the way, Wawa, the fact that he hasn't hit the DHS before, and it kind of looked like he did already.
Oh, yeah.
Dealing so much damage. Lunar is so far behind. The XP lane down, onward. Oh no, not able to connect there. Not even able to go for the Earth Shadow. Gets pinned down to the wall by the Spear of Misery, and LMU just bursts him down with a Ghost Burster. Say goodbye to the Faraga armor. 2 Spear Destruction. I don't think he wants to take it though. Just wants to go for the turret in the bottom lane. That's another tier 2 with Caro dead right as the Lord's going to spawn in the game.
You know what's the difference maker here for Wawa? Is that he has the Inspire, man. Usually in tournament play, we see the Flickers, we see the Purified. So Wawa understands that he has to go big or he's going to go home. So he goes for the Inspire. And I feel like the Inspire is the reason why he's been winning the lane. And in the team fights, even without the Demon Hunter Sword, you see a lot of damage. And he's very generous at proccing the Inspire whenever a fight looks like it's going to break out. He will use it just to zone people away.
I think now, for Siggy Boom, the fact that, you know, he's down, he only has a Windtalker and a Sky Piercer. Not even the Endless Battle just yet. Meanwhile, the scaling hero, Wawa, on that Moskov. Hold up, LMU. Walks up the Stampede. Tracy's doing a good job. He's getting out of these taunts, Earthshatter DCC with the Shun Fu. And you know, we've had a talk off stream about how good the Cho is.
Yeah.
As XP or as damage dealer, but now as a roamer, it seems, is it Prio, LaFell?
I feel like it's only Prio because Cho is one of those heroes you can't make a mistake on. So if you're really, like, if you have 300 games on a Cho, yeah, Prio, definitely.
Okay, so these turrets, that splash gonna be they're gonna be able to get rid of it before the Lord even spawns in, by the way, or actually charges in. So KBG have a very, very good road. Wawa, able to go for the Spear of Misery onto Siggy Boom, forcing him back once again. They're gonna go for the siege now. That's gonna be a good Earth Shatter and an onward combo. LMU forcing pop into Netherrealm, but look at the base turret, already taking very low in the back. Oh, it's a fracture for Saksa as the penalty zone knocks them down. A Spear of Destruction now pinning them down into the wall, but it's gonna be a good taunt there, and it will take Wawa down. Kazoo, that damage just chunking him down, but he's still able to survive. 1 tier 1 up top, taken down. They're gonna go for mid lane as well, but now Siggy Boom wants to go for chase, has the Lycan Pounds, gets kicked back by Tracy. An amazing disengage as they pick a base turret off. Lord Blast Insanity in the 1v3 with the Faraga armor. Tracy's still able to Jikundo out of it. That additional range.
Dude, the extra 20% range, it helped out a lot. Tracy was able to survive with the Jikundo, and I gotta say for Keep Best Gaming, good news, bad news. Bad news, yes, Wawa got taken down. The good news is that he did not have any kills. So even though he was taken down, he didn't transfer any shutdown gold. So now we see the goal difference. There is not much goal difference that S2G was able to get back because now it's still around 8,000, 9,000 gold lead for Keep Best Gaming. So it's still them controlling the entire map. So if Wawa had 3 kills, perhaps it would have swung for S2G. But the fact that he had 0 kills, not much has changed.
Interesting. Trying to walk up here, Kazoo, doing a good job of turning them and holding them off, but it's 10-3, a 9,000 gold lead in the first 11 minutes of the game as they just play it so disciplinedly at this point. They're just freezing up the waves.
Looking at the item, Saksa is already full build. He even has a rose gold meter to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake. Perhaps he's going to sell it off for an immortality in case things go wrong. Looking at the items for Roger, he has 3 items as well. He has the Sky Piercer. The only thing is that he does not have any stacks, and this is where we see the Sky Piercer's nerf actually being a big factor from 6% now to 4% is going to be more difficult for S2G to drop down Keep Best Gaming for the lethality to proc. So, yeah, Siggy Boom with 0 kills is going to be rough.
And they can't even walk up, not here. KBG pick up a free Enhanced Lord in the 12th minute of the game. 0 turtles, 0 lords, 0 turrets, no objectives whatsoever for S2G.
Let me just say, Mirko, your vlog asking every single caster what their opinion is, it's gonna do well. I feel like it's gonna do well.
It's gonna be very,
it's gonna be very commentated.
I think so, you know, like, especially now considering Siggy Boom in the 12th minute has finally gone the Malefic Roar. It looks tough for them to pull off this defense. They do have a Yi, by the way, so let's see how they go at it on the siege. Tracy walking up again onto Kazoo, who's still able to go and disengage for a bit, but that's 2 tier 3s taken out, 2 base turrets taken out. KBG gonna go again. Rage, oh my god! That's gonna be the way the Dragon, bringing him back with the flicker. Spirit Destruction into the backline as well as he decides to go for it. No, just go straight for the base. And KBG win out game number 1.
KBG, man, coming up. Like I said, from the previous wildcard, they're like, you know what, we want to be number 1 in the group. This time, they're going to prove it. But we got to talk about S2G as well, where I kind of feel like Karo was not able to start things up. And I kind of feel like that's one of the big factors where they didn't shine. Because as an Edith, we will see like